chosen one. Have you ever felt that deep, powerful sensation in your soul, an overwhelming force, something greater than yourself, rising within you? It's not a coincidence. It's the weapon that has been carefully hidden inside of you. A weapon so potent. It is beyond human comprehension. This is no mere gift. This is divine weaponry, waiting to be unlocked. And right now, the universe itself is urging you to tap into it. But are you ready? Can you feel the fire burning within, urging you to step into your destiny? This isn't the story of someone ordinary. This is a story about you. You are not like the others. You have been marked for greatness. And if you've ever doubted it, let me remind you, there are powerful forces at work within you. Forces that have been carefully woven into the fabric of your existence. Forces that echo through the very corridors of heaven itself. Just like David, who was chosen not because of his strength, but because of his heart, because he dared to be different in the face of Goliath's towering presence. 1 Samuel 17:45. Have you considered that perhaps your current struggle is simply the moment before your own Goliath falls? Think of Samson, the mighty man whose strength was tied not to physicality, but to obedience to God's calling. I will be with you, God declared, and you shall break the yoke off your neck. Judges 15:18. His story reminds us that the weapon inside isn't merely strength, it's divine purpose. And just as his strength lay in his covenant with God, your power lies in your divine relationship. But here's the twist. The true weapon of God's chosen ones isn't about overwhelming might. It's about a subtle, divine frequency. Much like how an architect crafts a masterpiece building from the ground up, shaping each pillar, each beam, ensuring that every stone aligns to the divine blueprint, so too is your life being constructed. Your struggles, your triumphs, your failures, they are the raw materials of something much greater. You are the architect of your own destiny, designing from a realm beyond human understanding, beyond time and space. Isn't it intriguing how the strongest structures in the world rise from the most fragile foundations? A tree, towering and grand, was once an insignificant seed, struggling in the earth. But under the right conditions, it grew into something powerful. Could it be that your roots are being buried in this very moment, preparing you for a grand emergence? Just like the way light breaks through the darkest skies, your moment of brilliance is coming. But there are forces at play, dark forces, just as they were in the story of Judas, the betrayer who couldn't see the divine power hidden in plain sight. Judas's actions were a tragic reminder of how some can never see the truth, even when it's staring them in the face. Betrayal, dishonesty, and deceit only serve as distractions that keep you from unlocking the potential that lies deep within. When you tap into this divine power, you will outshine the darkness. The words of the philosopher Albert Einstein, who once said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science." This perfectly echoes the divine energy that flows through you. It is not something understood by the world. It is the mystery of the universe itself, and it resides in you. But this weapon isn't for the faint of heart. It is for those ready to rise, those willing to confront their own fears and doubts. Let me take you back to the very first spark of creation. Imagine the universe with its infinite stars, each shining brightly in the vast unknown. This is not a random occurrence. It's the divine blueprint in motion. And now, as you stand at the threshold of your destiny, the stars align just as they did when God spoke the world into existence. You are a part of this divine orchestration, and your life is synchronized with this eternal melody. But here's the key. You must tune into this frequency, just as a musician would tune their instrument before playing. Without the right tuning, no matter how skilled you are, your instrument will not produce the desired harmony. Similarly, without aligning yourself to the divine plan, you cannot fully unlock your power. Now, let's talk about the villains who will try to stop you. The adversaries who cannot stand the idea of your success, like the Pharaoh, whose pride led him to ignore God's signs and ultimately brought his downfall. Exodus 14:28. Those who stand in opposition to the divine will often end up consumed by it. They cannot see the light of truth, and so they live in darkness. But your time is now. Your weapon is not physical. It is a force that resonates through time, space, and even the very air around you. It is divine in nature, built upon the same principles that govern the stars, the oceans, and the wind. Do you feel it yet? That deep, resonant hum within you. It is the sound of your true purpose, calling you into action. So, I say to you today, rise, step into your destiny. The weapon inside you is waiting, and it is far beyond anything the world can comprehend. The gates of heaven are opening, and your moment of revelation is here. The question is, are you ready to unlock it? And when you do, nothing will stand in your way. It is your declaration, your sacred covenant with heaven that says, Lord, I align with this revelation. And in doing so, you unlock the divine weapon within you. A weapon that transcends the boundaries of time and human comprehension. This weapon, hidden inside, will lead you to victory and purpose. It will open doors you cannot yet see and secure victories no enemy can block. But do not scroll away. Do not turn away from the very message meant for you. Stay right here. For in the moments ahead, the truth God has been waiting to reveal to you will unfold. This moment, this divine interruption in your day, is not by accident. It is part of a greater plan, a plan that has been years in the making. Heaven interrupted your path to bring you here, because the secrets of the universe are now ready to be unveiled to you. When we study God's word, we notice a powerful pattern. God never acts without first revealing. In Amos 3:7, it says, surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. This single verse is a key to unlocking the mystery of how heaven operates on earth. God is not impulsive. He does not act on whims. Every shift in the seasons, every movement toward judgment, restoration, or revival begins with a divine whisper. Why? Because he speaks, he reveals, and he gives insight to those who are in intimate relationship with him. God does not leave his chosen to stumble in the dark. Revelation is not random. It is relational. Before God moves in power, he prepares his people. Think about Abraham, the man of faith, who walked so closely with God. In Genesis 18:17, before God brought judgment on Sodom, he paused and asked, shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Why did he pause? Because Abraham was not just a servant. He was a friend, a covenant partner, and because of their deep relationship, God gave him prophetic insight into what was to come. Abraham was the first to receive divine clarity, the first to understand the divine plan, and the first to partner with God in the unfolding of history. Just as Abraham was called into divine partnership, So are you. The revelation you are receiving now is not just for information, it is an invitation. God is saying, "Come closer. I want to show you what I am about to do." And when He reveals something to you, it is because He trusts you to align with His will, to prepare yourself for what is ahead, and to partner with His divine purpose. This is where the mystery of your divine weapon is unlocked. The weapon inside you is far beyond any human understanding, just like David, who was called out from the sheepfold to become a king, 1 Samuel 16:13. You too have been chosen for something greater than yourself. This weapon inside of you is not of this world. It is a divine energy, a power that calls you to step into your destiny, to walk with God, and to claim your divine inheritance. And now, the call is yours. The weapon inside you is waiting to be unleashed. It is beyond history, beyond human comprehension. And it is only for those who are ready to step into their calling. Are you ready? God trusted Abraham enough to share His divine secrets. This act speaks to the very heart of our Father, who desires nothing more than to reveal His plans to those who are close to Him. He is not a God who seeks to surprise His people with destruction or hardship. He is a God who desires to prepare His chosen for their destiny, to equip them with divine wisdom long before the world sees the manifestation of their purpose. When God trusts you with revelation, it is a sign that you've entered into a deeper level of friendship with Him. It's as though He is inviting you into His inner circle, a place where His plans are made known. This level of trust is not given to the faint-hearted, but to those who have been faithful and obedient in the quiet seasons of their lives. It's not merely about prophecy, it's about proximity. God does not want you to remain distant, a faceless member of the crowd. No, the same God who shared His plans with Abraham is the God who is speaking to you right now. Do you hear it? You are not a random name lost in history. You are chosen, hand-picked for a divine purpose that stretches beyond your understanding. And when God speaks to you, when He whispers His plans for your life, it's His way of saying, "I cannot keep this from you any longer. You've waited, you've endured, you've stayed faithful, and now it's time for you to understand the divine workings I've had in motion all along. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the moment where destiny calls you to stand tall and accept your role in the grand narrative of creation. This moment is not just about curiosity, it's about calling. God is lifting the veil that once kept you in the dark, revealing to you the truth you were always meant to see. What once confused you, what seemed to be a puzzle with pieces scattered across time, will now make sense. What was once hidden is now coming into sharp focus. The veil is being torn away, not for your confusion, but for your transformation. Revelation is the reward of endurance, and it is the invitation to walk more closely with Him. As the psalmist says, "The secret of the Lord is with those who fear Him, and He will show them His covenant." Psalm 25:14. This divine unveiling is not just for your benefit, but for your partnership with God in bringing His kingdom to earth. God does not reveal His secrets to keep them hidden. He reveals them so that you can be an active participant in His will. Think about the natural world, how the seasons reveal their full glory over time. A seed buried deep in the soil spends months hidden from view, seemingly inactive. Yet, in its hidden state, it is preparing to burst forth into life. The sun, the rain, the quiet waiting, all work together to bring it to fruition. In the same way, God has been nurturing the seeds of your destiny, hidden within you, waiting for the appointed time to reveal them. You may not see the full picture right now. But just as the seed transforms into a magnificent tree, so too is your purpose being revealed in its time. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Like a tree that stands tall and majestic after years of quiet growth, your purpose too will emerge in God's perfect timing, when the conditions are right. And when that moment comes, it will be a testimony of God's faithfulness and your unwavering perseverance. And as God lifts the veil, remember that this moment is more than mere knowledge. It's an invitation to join Him in what He is doing, the same way a river carves its path through stone over time, with persistent and patient force. God's revelation is carving your path. Each step you take, each season you endure, is preparing you to receive the fullness of His plan. Just as a sculptor patiently chips away at the marble to reveal the masterpiece within, God is molding you, shaping you, and revealing more of who you are meant to be. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Your life, like the sculptor's work, is a masterpiece in progress. Each moment of trial and triumph, chiseling away the unnecessary, revealing the beauty of God's perfect design. The struggles you face are not obstacles, but opportunities to be molded into something greater, something divine. In 2 Kings 6:17, when Elisha prayed for his servant's eyes to be opened, the servant's eyes were opened, and he saw the army of the Lord surrounding them. It was a moment of revelation, where what was once hidden became visible. This is the same God who opens eyes today. Your eyes, what you couldn't see before, will now come into sharp focus. And the battle you thought you were facing alone will reveal that God's army is all around you. The hidden forces of heaven have been at work in your life all along, preparing the way for your victory. What you thought was impossible is now within your reach, because God's presence has been with you, even when you couldn't see it. This revelation, this divine moment, is not just about information. It's an invitation to partner with the Father in His divine plan. Are you ready to step into this calling? Because the weapon inside you has been waiting for this moment, this season of unveiling. And it is beyond human understanding. It is the weapon of divine purpose, the weapon of anointed destiny, and it is time to rise. God is not only revealing His plans to you, He is inviting you to be part of them. As His chosen one, your destiny is unfolding, and you are about to step into a new season of power, wisdom, and grace. Write it down. Pray into it. Ask for wisdom. Do not dismiss the divine whispers as mere coincidence. Heaven is entrusting you with insight because there is something monumental on the horizon, and you are part of it. You are not being left behind. No. You are being invited into something greater, something that has been in the works long before you even realized. God is revealing His plans, and when you receive His revelation, you are not just hearing His voice, you are stepping into His timing. Have you ever wondered if this moment, right now, is the one you've been waiting for? Could it be that God's timing has finally aligned with your life's purpose? You are walking in the rhythm of heaven, a divine cadence that moves in perfect harmony with God's eternal plan. Just as a skilled orchestra plays in unison, each instrument contributing to the grand symphony, so too do you contribute to the unfolding of God's divine purpose. Every moment of your life is orchestrated by the Creator, each note of your existence forming part of the divine melody And like an architect crafting a masterpiece, he is designing the blueprint of your life. Every prayer, every struggle, and every victory is shaping the structure of your destiny. The rhythm of heaven always leads to glory. And if you align with it, you are stepping into the very flow of God's eternal will. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. This promise is not just about your future, it's a declaration that God is already at work, intricately weaving together every thread of your life. Trust that every moment, every experience, is part of a larger tapestry, one that He holds in His hands, designed for your ultimate good and His glory. Now, let's deal with the silence. For many of you, the greatest pain wasn't the betrayal, the loss, or even the struggle. It was the silence of God. You prayed, and it felt like the heavens were closed. You fasted, and it seemed like nothing shifted. You begged for answers, but it was as if God ignored you. And in that silence, doubt crept in. You questioned everything. Your prayers, your purpose, your very identity, all under the weight of God's silence. You asked, God, where are you? And the only answer was stillness. But listen closely. Heaven's silence is not heaven's abandonment. God was not ignoring you. He was maturing you. What if God was waiting for you to step out in faith, even when you couldn't see the way forward? What if that silence was not His absence, but His invitation to trust Him more deeply? Silence is not absence. Silence is strategy. Think of the way a chess grandmaster carefully plans each move, knowing that every pause, every still moment, is part of the larger strategy to win the game. Every move is intentional. In the same way, God was silent during your trial, not because He abandoned you, but because He was watching your faith. This silence was His examination of your heart, your trust, and your endurance. Could you still worship when you didn't feel anything? Could you still believe when there were no visible signs of change? That kind of faith, the kind that stands firm in the face of uncertainty, is not built in noise. Though He slay me, yet will I trust in Him. Job 13:15. What would it look like for you to trust God in the silence, knowing that He is still working on your behalf? Imagine this. Every quiet moment, every unanswered prayer is not a sign of abandonment, but a deep preparation. It's the moment when your roots are growing deeper into His promises, even though the fruit is not yet visible. In the realm of physics, we know that sound waves travel through air, yet in the absence of sound, the environment can be felt with a deeper sense of stillness. Silence is the space in which energy gathers before it is released. Similarly, in life, God's silence often precedes a shift, a divine force that is at work, even when it is invisible to the naked eye. Just as a wave forms beneath the surface of the water before it crashes on shore, so too does God work in stillness before the breakthrough. And when He speaks, it is not random, it is orchestrated in perfect timing, just like the vibrations of a finely tuned string in a musical instrument, resonating at the right moment to create harmony. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Habakkuk 2-3. Are you prepared for the moment when everything aligns, and God's perfect timing becomes clear? The words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an iconic leader whose resilience shaped history, He once said, "Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase." Like the architect who lays the first brick without seeing the entire structure, faith is taking that step into the unknown, trusting that the path will be revealed when the time is right. His words remind us that faith is not defined by what we can see, but by what we believe in the silence, the trust that even when God is silent, He is still working in the background to bring His plans to fruition. As you move through the silence, remember that your faith in those moments is laying the foundation for the great things to come. So, in those moments when you feel the silence of heaven pressing in, remember, it is not the absence of God, but the preparation of your heart. The rhythm of heaven is moving beneath the surface of your life, and your breakthrough is on the horizon. Your faith, tested in the silence, will echo throughout eternity. It's built in silence. It's the kind of faith that roots you deep, prepares you for weight, and qualifies you for glory. Many of us are accustomed to equating silence with absence, but it is precisely in these quiet moments that God is doing His deepest work within us. What felt like punishment was actually preparation. Some of the greatest moves of God in Scripture came after extended silence. Between the Old and New Testaments, there were 400 years of prophetic silence, a period where God seemed to be distant. And then came Jesus, breaking the silence with the fullness of divine revelation. Have you ever wondered if the silence in your life is setting the stage for a breakthrough you can't yet see? Before Jesus raised Lazarus, He waited 4 days in silence. Before the resurrection, there was a silent Saturday, a day where hope seemed lost and all the promises felt buried in the ground. Silence always precedes glory. That stillness wasn't empty. It was pregnant with power. It wasn't a delay. It was divine timing. Much like a master architect, carefully laying down the foundation before building the structure, God's silence is the foundation upon which His glory will rest. He wasn't saying no. He was saying, "Wait." And in that waiting, your character was shaped. How often have you felt abandoned in the silence, only to later realize that it was in those moments that God was building something far more lasting and glorious? Your discernment was sharpened. Your dependence on God was deepened. Just like a musician spends hours in practice before their performance, God uses silence to prepare us for the greatest symphony of our lives. Each note, each pause, each silence creates the depth and richness of the story He is unfolding within us. Now, He says, the test is over. The silence is breaking. I can't hide this from you any longer. Heaven is speaking again. The whisper is becoming a roar. You have entered a new season. This is not the end of the silence, but its conclusion, a moment of unveiling. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. Do you sense the shift? The waiting is over, and your new strength is rising. You passed the test, not by doing everything perfectly, but by refusing to give up. You didn't walk away. You didn't let go. You stood your ground in the silence. And now God is about to honor your endurance. What was hidden is about to be revealed. What was delayed is about to be released. You are stepping into a season where the heavens will speak loud and clear. So, chosen one, don't let the silence make you bitter. Let it make you stronger. Don't misinterpret the quiet seasons as divine rejection. They were divine investments. Think of Walt Disney, whose creative genius was dismissed early in his career by critics and even his peers. He was told he lacked imagination, but he didn't let that silence deter him. His time in the wilderness, his silence was merely the preparation for what would become one of the greatest creative legacies in history. And now that the silence has served its purpose, your ears will begin to hear again. Your spirit will begin to stir again. Your steps will be ordered by the voice you thought had disappeared, just like the dormant seed that, under the surface of the earth, is preparing to sprout into something strong and lasting. So too is your faith about to bear fruit. The silence was never a goodbye. It was a setup. Heaven's timing is perfect. And now the doors that have been waiting to open are ready to swing wide. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. This moment of awakening is not just a return to the ordinary, it's the beginning of a new chapter. Just as a seed must endure the darkness of the soil before it can break through to the light, your faith has been growing stronger in ways unseen. You are stepping into a season where everything you've waited for is aligning perfectly. And now, God is about to speak in ways you've never heard before. Get ready. The silence is breaking. Chosen one, listen closely. When it looked like nothing was happening, heaven was busy. Just like a seed buried deep beneath the soil, you couldn't see the transformation happening beneath the surface, but all along, God was preparing the foundation for something extraordinary. When you felt forgotten, your name was being written into a story, much bigger than you could imagine, an eternal story. One that was being orchestrated long before you ever took your first step. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Could it be that God's silence was a setup? What if the stillness in your life was the divine preparation for something far greater than you had anticipated? Just because you couldn't see movement doesn't mean there wasn't progress. Imagine a caterpillar hidden in its cocoon, seemingly still and motionless. But inside, it is being transformed into something completely new. God is not bound by your timeline. He doesn't operate according to the way you perceive time. And, just like a watchmaker meticulously fine-tuning each gear, He does not broadcast every step of His process. While you were waiting, God was working behind the scenes, making sure every detail was coming into alignment for the moment of your unveiling. While you were questioning, He was orchestrating a symphony, ensuring that every piece of the puzzle fell into place. While you were weeping, He was writing your next chapter. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. You may not have understood it at the time, but your waiting was not in vain. Every tear, every moment of doubt was part of His master plan. What looked like delay was actually divine design. In the same way that a sculptor chips away at a rough block of stone, revealing a masterpiece hidden within, God was chiseling away at your life, refining your character, and preparing you for the greatness to come. Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. From the outside, it looked like his life was unraveling. But behind the scenes, God was aligning every detail to raise him as second in command of Egypt. What the world saw as a setback, God saw as an opportunity to prepare Joseph for his destiny. Nothing was wasted. Every betrayal pushed him closer to the throne. And just as a musician practices tirelessly, perfecting each note in silence before performing for an audience, Joseph's life was being perfected, note by note. for the moment when he would step into his divine calling. This is what God does. He takes what others meant for evil and turns it into something powerful, something purposeful. You may have faced rejection, betrayal, and hardship, but each experience has been a part of the divine design that is preparing you for your moment of victory. Do you believe that the struggles you've faced have been a part of God's purpose for you? Joseph's journey is a testament to how God can take the most painful experiences and turn them into the foundation for something extraordinary. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Every trial you've endured, every injustice you've suffered, has been a shaping force. Just as Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and falsely imprisoned, yet rose to the heights of power in Egypt. Your setbacks are not the end of the story. They are the prelude to the greatness God has for you. Every lie that was spoken against you positioned you for purpose. Every betrayal, every injustice that came against you became the exact route that God used to elevate you to the place He has prepared for you. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. Isaiah 54:17. Do you see it? What the enemy meant for evil, God has turned into something that is shaping you for greatness. Could it be that the very pain you are enduring right now is the seed of your future success? Joseph's pain was the tunnel he had to walk through, but purpose was waiting at the other end, waiting to be revealed. You might feel like you're walking through a tunnel right now, dark, uncertain, and unrelenting. But God is taking you somewhere. And at the end of this tunnel, there's a light so bright, a destiny so powerful, that you couldn't have reached it any other way. God didn't just bring Joseph out of his trials. He brought him up, the same way a master architect carefully plans each stage of a building's construction. God was building Joseph's life from the ground up. Each stone, each setback, was part of His grand design. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. If Joseph had judged God by his pit, he would have given up. If he had judged God by his prison, he would have quit before his elevation. How many times have you judged God by your present circumstances, not knowing that He is orchestrating your rise? The silence you've endured and the hardships you've faced are not the final chapter. They are part of God's plan to elevate you. Joseph, after enduring unimaginable suffering, was able to look his brothers in the eye and say, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Genesis 50:20. This wasn't just a statement of survival, it was a declaration of purpose. Joseph didn't just survive the pit and the prison. He recognized that those very experiences were preparing him for a destiny much greater than he ever imagined. And just like Joseph, your struggles are not in vain, they are part of your preparation. The hardship, the heartache, the times when you felt abandoned, these are the moments that are shaping you into the person God has destined you to be. God allowed Joseph to walk through those hardships so he could carry the wisdom, compassion, and authority necessary to rescue not just his family, but generations to come. Your story is not just about you. God is working through your pain to build you up, not just for your own benefit, but for those around you. Could it be that the very things that broke you are actually building you? The challenges you face are not punishment, they are divine preparation. We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character. I hope. Romans 5:3-4. The places where you cried the most are the very places God was building your authority. The nights you wanted to give up were the nights He was planting endurance deep within you. And those moments when you felt abandoned, when you thought God had left you, those were the moments when He was closest. God was doing something far beyond what you could see. He was working in silence to bring you to this moment of unveiling. God is telling you today, the things that looked like harm were actually preparation. The very places you thought would destroy you are the places where you will emerge with authority, ready to walk into your purpose. I can't hide this from you any longer. What you thought was breaking you was actually making you chosen one. Don't despise the hidden seasons. Heaven has been working in silence. And now the unveiling is about to begin. Get ready. The wait is over. The silence has served its purpose. And now the revelation is coming. Just like a musician tuning their instrument before the concert begins, God has been tuning you, aligning you, and preparing you for the grand unveiling. You're about to step into the fullness of what He has prepared for you. The silence was never a goodbye. It was a setup. You are about to witness the revelation of what God has been doing behind the curtain all along. Do you feel the stirring of something greater, just beyond your grasp? This is not just a plan being unveiled. It is the unveiling of your true identity. For too long, you've lived under falser labels, manipulated by others' opinions, and distorted by the situations around you. People have called you not enough, too broken, too ordinary. They've tried to confine you to a box that was never yours to fit in. Even circumstances may have made you believe that you were unworthy, forgotten, or irreplaceable. But have you ever wondered if those labels were never meant to define you in the first place? No, none of those things ever defined you. God never called you by your wounds. Just like David, who was chosen by God not for his outward appearance, but for his heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. You have been chosen for something far beyond what the world sees. Heaven has always known who you were meant to be. When others saw your flaws, God saw your potential. And now, in this season of shaking and revealing, God is peeling back every lie that the enemy planted in your mind, showing you the truth of who you've been all along. He is declaring, I can't let you live under those lies any longer. I am pulling the veil off your identity. The words of Maya Angelou, a renowned poet and civil rights activist, who said, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Like her, you have encountered battles, disappointments, and moments of confusion. But those moments don't define who you are. The enemy may have tried to convince you that you were defeated, but God is lifting the veil so you can see that you have always been destined for victory. Could it be that your current struggles are preparing you for a victory you've yet to fully comprehend? Like a sculptor chiseling away at a stone to reveal the masterpiece hidden within, God has been shaping you, removing the layers of insecurity, fear, and shame that tried to define you. He is breaking the mirrors of insecurity and rejection that reflect false images of yourself. Just like in the classic Beethoven symphony, where every note is carefully placed, every movement of God in your life has been designed to bring you into the full understanding of your identity in Him. Beethoven's Symphony No. 9 is known for its crescendo, its building power, which mirrors the moment in your life where you are about to rise to your full potential. God is orchestrating a divine symphony in your life, where the wrong notes of rejection and comparison are silenced, and the true melody of your purpose is finally heard. In this powerful moment, everything that distorted your reflection is being removed, so you can finally see yourself through the eyes of your Creator. No longer will you see the scars of the past, but the glory that God has placed within you. You are not who they said you were. The world's labels do not define you. God is breaking free the truth that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139:14. Called for greatness and destined for something much bigger than what others have tried to limit you to. This is the moment where you step out from under the weight of those false identities and embrace the person God has always seen you to be. Get ready. The veil is coming off. The chains are breaking, and the truth is coming. Do you feel the weight lifting as you step into the fullness of who God has made you to be? You will stand tall, reflect your true image, and walk boldly in the purpose God has for you. Now is the time for the revelation of your true identity. You are not the product of your pain, the hurt, the suffering, the battles you've fought. They do not define you. You are the result of divine intention, a masterpiece crafted by God Himself. You carry royal DNA. You bear the image of the King. Have you ever paused to realize that the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead now lives in you? Think about the magnitude of that truth. That same resurrection power is alive in you, waiting to be awakened. In Ephesians 1:4, it tells us, "For He chose us in Him before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in His sight." Before the world even existed, God had already chosen you. Your worth is not tied to your performance. It's not about how many times you've stumbled or fallen short. It's rooted in eternity. Before you ever made a mistake, before you ever doubted your ability, God loved you. He didn't wait until you got it right. He loved you before you even existed. He called you before you were formed. In the same way that the seed of a mighty oak tree is planted deep beneath the earth before it can be seen reaching for the sky, so too was your calling planted before time began, waiting for the right season to emerge. God didn't start loving you when you got it right. He loved you before you were formed. He chose you before you were seen by the world. And despite the moments where you felt unseen or overlooked, He still chooses you today. You are not an afterthought. You are not a backup plan. You are the manifestation of His heart and His glory, uniquely created with purpose, power, and potential. You are intentional. Your identity is sacred. Do you understand the weight of this? You were chosen by God before anyone else had an opinion about you. Before the world told you that you weren't enough, God already said, "This one belongs to me." Before people overlooked you, He handpicked you, and even in your failure, your doubt, your moments of weakness, God has never turned His gaze away from you. Just like the mighty oak tree that withstands the harshest storms, your roots have been growing deeper, being fortified in the silence, so that when the storm passes, you will stand tall, unshaken, ready to fulfill your destiny. I have loved you with an everlasting love, God says in Jeremiah 31:3. And that love is not based on what you've done, but on who He created you to be. You are not defined by your past mistakes or the voices that told you that you were unworthy. You are chosen. You are chosen by heaven's hands. You are handpicked to reflect His glory in ways no one else can. As 1 Peter 2:9 says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. Your journey, every step, is a part of his grand design. Just as Michelangelo looked at a block of marble and saw the masterpiece hidden within it, God has always seen your greatness, even when others couldn't. And now, the time has come for the veil to be lifted. The world may have tried to bury your purpose, but heaven has always been nurturing it in silence. So, chosen one, stand tall. Rise up and walk in the fullness of your calling. Heaven is unveiling what was hidden, and you are about to see yourself as God sees you, holy, blameless, and chosen for greatness. The wait is over. The veil has been torn, and your true identity is being revealed. Now, take your place in the story God has always written for you. So walk like it. Speak like it. Live like it. Every false name is falling off. Every lie, every accusation, every misjudgment is losing its grip on your identity. The weight of what others have spoken over you is dissolving. No longer will their words have power over the truth of who you are. And now, the real you, the healed, bold, chosen, and anointed you, is rising to the surface. This is not just a revelation of purpose, it is a revelation of identity. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you've always been in God's eyes. The core of who you are has always been there, waiting to be revealed to the world. You were never meant to be defined by the labels of the world. You were made for something greater, for a purpose and a destiny that goes beyond what your circumstances have said about you. Now is the time to embrace that truth. The world doesn't get to dictate your worth. God has already called you his masterpiece. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah 1:5. Imagine that before you even took your first breath, God had already set his eyes on you, calling you forth for greatness. Think about that. The creator of the universe, who spoke the stars into existence, who designed the very fabric of life, has been intimately aware of you from before you were even born. Do you feel that shift in the atmosphere? It's like the first stirrings of a new dawn, the fresh breath of a new beginning. You are stepping into the fullness of your divine identity, a masterpiece crafted by the hands of your Creator. The real you is emerging, free from the false names that have tried to hold you back. No more shame, no more fear, only boldness, only purpose. Your story is not one of defeat or limitation. It's a story written by God himself, filled with divine purpose and unstoppable power. Now, listen carefully. The reason God hid some things from you before is because the revelation would have crushed you if it came too soon. Destiny requires maturity. A blessing in the wrong season can feel like a burden. Could you handle the magnitude of the blessing if it arrived prematurely? It's like planting a tree. The seed has to grow deep roots first, or else the weight of the tree would be too much for the fragile roots to hold. God knew the weight of your calling, and he has been working in the background, preparing you to carry it. How often have we prayed for something, only to realize we weren't ready for it yet? God is refining you, making sure you're ready to handle the fullness of his purpose for you. What looks like delay to us is often God's protection in disguise. He sees the full picture, the path ahead, and what you need to carry the blessing without being overwhelmed by it. God is preparing you for the weight of greatness. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Could it be that the waiting period wasn't punishment, but preparation? The seasons of silence, the waiting, the closed doors? Could it be that all of it was God's way of aligning you for something greater? Every season of silence, every moment of delay was God's way of preparing you for something far bigger than you imagined. Could it be that every single trial you faced, every setback, was precisely what was needed to make you strong enough to carry the weight of the blessing? When God holds something back, it's not to punish you. It's to prepare you for the gift He has in store. God sees what you need to grow, to be molded into the person who can carry the blessing without breaking under its weight. There are things He wants to give you, blessings beyond measure, but He first had to grow you into the person who could steward them with grace and strength. Think about Joseph. If he had been made ruler right after the pit, he would not have had the wisdom or resilience to carry the weight of Egypt. Can you imagine the pressure of carrying such responsibility at such a young age? He needed the pit to humble him. He needed the prison to refine him. He needed years of silence and disappointment to prepare him for a platform that would impact nations. God wasn't being cruel, He was being careful. The process may have looked like punishment, but it was preservation. Joseph's delay was not a detour from purpose. It was a necessary part of the journey. Every step, every setback, every time he faced rejection, God was setting him up for His ultimate purpose. And like Joseph, your delays are not detours. They are part of the divine process to prepare you for the fullness of your calling. Do you understand now? The delay you've faced is not the end of your story. It's only the beginning of the revelation of who God has made you to be. As Isaiah 55:8 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Every moment of silence, every season of waiting, has been preparing you for what's to come. You are about to step into the fullness of your purpose, God's purpose for you, the one He set in motion long before you were even born. Get ready, because the unveiling is happening now. This is not the end. This is just the beginning of what God has always intended for you. The veil has been lifted, and you are stepping into the revelation of who you were always meant to be. Get ready to walk boldly in your destiny. It was the road that led him straight into it. Every step of that journey shaped him into a man who could carry the mantle of leadership with grace and strategy. The path wasn't easy, but each challenge was a divine lesson. Every trial, every moment of struggle, was part of the plan that would prepare him for what was ahead. The delay was not denial. It was divine development. God was developing your character, your discernment, your strength, and your endurance. Do you realize that the very struggles you faced have been shaping you into the person you need to be? There were weaknesses that had to be strengthened. There were mindsets that had to be broken, relationships that had to be removed, and there were depths in your spirit that had to be reached before the revelation could come. Just like Rocky Balboa in the movie Rocky III, when he faced his toughest challenge yet, fighting the undefeated Clubber Lang. Before that fight, Rocky had become comfortable, believing his past victories would be enough to secure his success. But the hard truth hit him. He had to train like never before, dive deeper, and prepare for the fight of his life. If God had shown you the full picture too early, it might have crushed you, or it might have ruined you. How many times have we prayed for something only to realize we weren't ready for it yet? Sometimes the silence and the waiting are God's greatest protection. What you see as delay is His perfect timing. God knew you needed this time to grow, to become the person who could steward the promise He has for you. But now, something has shifted in the spirit. You've been tested in secret. You've been forged in fire. You've been molded in the silence. And now, God says, I delayed because I was shaping you, but I can't hide it anymore. You are ready. You've passed tests you didn't even know you were taking. You've survived battles others couldn't endure. 2 Corinthians 4:8-9. Just like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, the Empire Strikes Back, when he was trained by Yoda on the remote planet of Dagobah. It seemed like endless difficulty and struggle, but every trial, every lesson, was preparing him for the moment when he would face Darth Vader. Have you ever felt like your struggles were never ending, only to realize later they were the very things that were preparing you for your greatest battle, like Rocky and Luke? You too have been tested and refined, shaping you into the leader, the warrior, the person ready to step into your destiny. Now, the hidden will be revealed. This is your unveiling. This is your moment. This is the season where what was once delayed will now be delivered. What was once concealed will now be confirmed. Heaven has watched your process. God has been with you every step of the way. And now, it's time for your promise. You are about to step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. The delay didn't disqualify you. It equipped you. You've been equipped with wisdom, strength, and endurance for what lies ahead. And now, what you've been waiting for is about to meet you. Fully prepared. Get ready. You are about to walk into the promise that has been waiting for you. The veil is lifting. Your time has come. This is your season. Let this truth sink deep into your spirit. What is ahead of you is far greater than what is behind you. The pain of your past was not wasted. Every tear you shed was not ignored. Every ounce of suffering you've endured, every setback, every battle, every heartache has been part of God's plan to elevate you. Think of the diamond buried under the pressure of the earth for thousands of years, enduring unimaginable weight, only to be revealed as a beautiful, shining jewel. The warfare you've faced is the proof that you are carrying something of immense value, something too heavy for the enemy to ignore. The enemy does not attack the empty. He targets what is full, what is prophetic. Could it be that the intensity of your battles has been a sign of your divine assignment? Your struggles have not been in vain. They are evidence that God is preparing you for something much greater. Every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every moment of pressing forward when you wanted to give up, it was all preparation for what's coming. As Romans 5:4 says, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character. Hope. Have you ever wondered if your pain and your persistence were quietly shaping you for something extraordinary? God has been storing up every cry, every sacrifice, every ounce of faith. And now, heaven is about to pour out what has been preserved for the appointed time. Just like Noah, who endured years of mockery while building the ark, the preparation may have seemed long, but it was all leading to the flood of blessings, of divine fulfillment, of prophetic overflow. The season ahead isn't just better, it's prophetic, it's fulfilling, it's overflowing. The devil doesn't attack the empty, he only fights the loaded. This truth speaks volumes about where you are now. Your struggles have been the proof of what you carry. Your battles weren't random, they were strategic attacks on your destiny. The enemy sees the mantle God has placed on your life. And that's why the warfare has been relentless. Hell doesn't waste its weapons on the passive. just like King David, who was constantly under attack because he was anointed for greatness. You too have been targeted because of the divine purpose on your life. The enemy doesn't fight for nothing, he fights because he knows you're carrying something that will change the world. But take courage. You have survived what was sent to break you. And now you are stepping into what has been reserved for the faithful, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. The enemy tried to delay you, but he couldn't deny you. And now, what is next will silence every voice that ever doubted you. Romans 8:18 tells us, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Do you hear that? The glory that will be revealed in you is the culmination of everything you've endured, everything you've overcome. The trials you've faced have been the very thing that will bring forth the glory of God in your life. What God is about to uncover in your life will make every tear worth it. This is not just recovery, it is a reward. Every moment of suffering, every setback, has been preparing you for this very moment. Can you feel the shift happening? Do you sense that everything you've endured is finally aligning for your purpose? God never forgets the faithful, and he never ignores the wounded. Every scar you bear will shine as evidence that grace carried you through. Think about Oprah Winfrey, who faced rejection after rejection, who grew up in poverty and was told she wasn't fit for television. But none of those setbacks defined her. Every moment of hardship became the foundation for her success. Your testimony will become someone else's breakthrough. Just like Oprah's journey has been a beacon of hope for millions, your story is proof that God makes beauty out of ashes. So hold your head high, because your next season isn't just coming, it is already unfolding before your eyes. It's more beautiful, more powerful, and more purposeful than you could ever imagine. Now, here is the fire. God is announcing your next season. He is saying, I can't hide this from you any longer. I hid you in obscurity, but now I will reveal you in influence, much like Oprah Winfrey, who was once overlooked. But God lifted her from the shadows and positioned her as a voice of influence. God is about to take you from the back to the front. He is revealing your true purpose. A allowed rejection. But now he will seat you at tables of honor. Can you feel the weight of that truth, that the rejection was not to harm you, but to refine you? He withheld clarity, but now he will flood you with understanding, like Joseph, who spent years in the pit and the prison, but was eventually elevated to power. God will flood you with wisdom to lead, to make decisions, and to fulfill your destiny. I let them doubt you, but now I will prove myself through you. Every moment of doubt, every time they tried to keep you down, God is about to show the world his power through you. This is not just a new chapter in your life. This is a divine unveiling. The season of delay is giving way to the season of demonstration. What was once silent will now speak loudly through favor, breakthrough, and undeniable evidence of God's hand. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Have you ever wondered if the delays you've faced were part of God's plan to shape you for the future He's promised? Think about Oprah, who was told time and time again that she wasn't good enough for television. She could have given up, but instead, she allowed God's plan to unfold at His pace. And now, she has changed the landscape of media and inspired millions. Isaías 60:1 declares, Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. That's not a suggestion, it's a command. Are you ready to arise from the shadows? Are you ready to let your light shine, knowing that God has equipped you for this moment, chosen one? It's your time. Heaven has sounded the alarm. The time has come to rise. Shine and step into the fullness of your divine calling. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Romans 8:18. Can you hear that? The glory that will be revealed in you is not just the culmination of your struggles, but the manifestation of God's hand upon your life. This is your moment to step into your true identity, to embrace the power that has been within you all along. Get ready, because the unveiling is happening now. This is your season to walk boldly into the future God has prepared for you. The earth will see what God has hidden. What was whispered in secret will now thunder in public. The season of obscurity has served its purpose, but now the time has come for divine revelation. Lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. Refuse to live in the shadows of old lies, because God is about to reveal you to the world, just as David, once a shepherd boy, was chosen in secret and then revealed as king to his nation. So too will you be revealed to the world in God's perfect timing. The God who hid you is the same God who will now reveal you. The God who was silent is now speaking boldly, announcing your arrival. Can you feel the shift? You are no longer hidden in the background. The spotlight is now on you, shining with the brilliance of heaven. Heaven is no longer whispering. It is declaring your name. Just as a master architect reveals a building after years of careful planning, God has been refining you in private, ensuring that when the time comes, you would be ready to stand in public. Your season of hiddenness, the silence, the waiting was preparation for a powerful unveiling. You've been refined in the secret places so that you can be trusted in the open. And now, the unveiling has begun. What was concealed is about to be revealed, not for your glory, but for His glory. Heaven has already known the power inside you, but now the world will see what God has been preparing in you all along. Will you walk boldly into this next chapter? Your destiny is calling, and the world is about to witness what heaven already knows about you. This is your moment. Let's pray this prayer of faith together as one family. Almighty Father, we stand in awe of this holy moment. Thank you for tearing the veil and revealing what you said could no longer be hidden. Thank you for handpicking every chosen one listening right now, for it is no accident. They were summoned by heaven itself. Lord, this is not ordinary. This is divine. Right now, Father, I lift up every heart under the sound of this message. Let your fire fall upon them. Burn away fear. Break off doubt. Shatter chains of delay and disappointment in the mighty name of Jesus. Let hope spring forth like a river in the desert. Let courage rise where weakness once lived. Let clarity pierce through confusion. Father, let them feel your hand on their shoulder, reminding them they are not forgotten. They are not overlooked. They are chosen. They are called. They are appointed. God, I decree that this word will not just echo in their ears, but take root in their spirit. Let it awaken dreams they thought were dead. Let it stir faith they thought was gone. Let it ignite a fire that nothing and no one can put out right now. Replace their weariness with strength, their tears with joy, their fear with boldness, and their silence with authority. And Father, I release a mighty blessing upon every person who will subscribe, like, and share this word. Let their obedience unlock divine doors in their lives. Let uncommon favors chase them down. Let peace reign in their homes. Let provision overflow in their hands. Let testimonies spring forth that leave no doubt. This was the touch of God. Lord, let this moment be remembered as the day destinies shifted, the day chains broke, the day heaven whispered, and earth shook. Seal it now with your presence, with your power, and with the unstoppable name of Jesus Christ. Amen. As you stand on the threshold of your divine destiny, remember this: the weapon inside you, the purpose, the power, and the potential is more profound than anything this world can comprehend. You are not just walking through life, you are walking in the authority and calling that God Himself has placed on your life. What others have overlooked, God has been cultivating in secret. And now, it's time to rise up and step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. The waiting was never a sign of abandonment. It was divine preparation for the moment you're living in right now. You are chosen. You are marked. And the unveiling of your purpose is already unfolding. As you unlock this divine weapon inside you, don't hesitate to move forward boldly into what God has prepared for you. This is your moment to shine. And nothing in this world can hold back what God is about to do in and through you. The battles, the waiting, the silence, all of it was necessary for you to step into your destiny with the wisdom, strength, and authority that you now possess. Walk with your head held high, knowing that heaven has called you, equipped you, and now will reveal you to the world in ways you've never imagined. If this message resonated with you, I want to encourage you to take action today. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this word, and comment below. Let us know how God has been moving in your life. Subscribe to the channel and become part of this community of chosen ones, a family of believers walking boldly in their God-given purpose. I want to take a moment to thank you, whether or not you've supported the channel through Super Thanks, for your presence and engagement. You are not just a viewer, you are an essential part of this divine movement. Your willingness to engage, to share, and to grow with us makes this journey even more powerful. Thank you for being here. Finally, as you continue your journey, I bless you with the fullness of God's purpose for your life. May He guide your steps, strengthen your spirit, and fill your heart with the unshakable confidence that you are chosen and equipped for what lies ahead. You are unstoppable, and the best is yet to come. In Jesus' name, Amen.